Mike's Daily Podcast.
Episode 1019. Hello, it is Mike Matthews broadcasting from Cafe Anyway, located somewhere in Podcastro Valley, Mont, at the last place on earth. Today, it is the finale of an interview where we put a big emphasis on the last syllable of whatever sentence we're saying. And the Australian band
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Kinderjazz is who we will be speaking with. Plus, we hear from Chely Shoehart, Floyd the Floorman, John Deere the engineer.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
And I am enjoying the end of January. I have realized my back is rather hairy. Getting rid of that hair is a job that can be painful and scary with the use of wax. Til Tuesday had a song called Oh Shush. Voices carry. I would lip sync that song.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
On that LL Cool J lip sync smooth tip show. Yo.
Mike's
Daily. Ever have a
Podcast.
big lunch and then the rest of your day goes slow? That's what I had yesterday. I was going to do a podcast yesterday, but I had this big lunch. What an excuse, Mike. No, it's true. I thought, hey, I'll do a show and it'll be great. And I didn't do it. But then the other thing, too, is if I do my podcast while I'm at work in the afternoon, everybody, because we got all these windows to all these studios. So it's like, don't make fun of people in glass houses or whatever that expression is, or throw stones or rocks or blow up bombs in glass houses. That's how it goes, isn't it? Don't listen to Billy Joel's Glass Houses without your ears, I think is the one expression I remember the most. But people will walk by the studio and look through the glass and go, what the hell is he doing? What's he doing making those voices and stuff? So I talked to a guy in radio who's been in radio a gazillion years like I have, and he said, I do a lot of character voices. And I'm like, oh God, I'm you. I'm that guy. Ugh. Why do I do character voices? And why do we do lip sync shows if we're named Kaylee Cuoco? Oh my God, what a surprise. Look who just walked in.
Hello, Mike Matthews. It's Chely Shoehart, the show supervisor. Don't make fun of Kelly Coco. I love that show, and I love all the geeks on that show. You don't do any character voices?
No, I don't. I have no talent whatsoever in that area.
I know, Mike Matthews. You're talentless.
Thank you. You like Big Bang Theory?
I love that show. I love geeks. Geeks are awesome, and I love Barbie Ferrera.
For Barbie Ferrari? Barbie Ferrari. Well, that's a good name. But it's like Ferrara. Anywho, she's the what they call, well, the names, it's like males should not be putting names for women sizes, descriptions. They call her curvy. They call her plus size. But she's 19, and she's revolutionizing the way we look. I'm sorry, women look. Look who else just walked in. Oh, Mike, this is Floyd the Floorman. And this is John Deere, the engineer. Yes, it's wonderful what Barbie is doing. And then also, ironically, the Barbie doll is being redone with different body shapes that I designed. Oh, thank you for doing that, John Deere, the engineer. I'm an engineer. I design things. Wonderful. That's scary. Mike, he's designed a lot of things. He could design for me a new mop, though. I need a new mop, John Deere, the engineer. Why don't you make me a new mop? I'm getting around to that. All right, well, the interesting thing is, yes, both these stories came out yesterday about Barbie Ferrera, the 19-year-old, what you would call not the emaciated model look, let's say. She's a real look. She's a look I can get behind, so to speak, with my support. And she is getting popular. And then Barbie, the Mattel announced that they are going to make 3 new Barbie type body types, rather, instead of the same Barbie unattainable body size, body image that Barbie has perpetuated over the years, keeping that 1950s figure. It's been around forever. They haven't redesigned it since the 50s, have they? Maybe they have. But yes, so I was here earlier at the work, and I couldn't bring you a show. And after eating a huge lunch, which they supplied to us, the company I work for, I was a little bit on the sluggish side. And there's really no way around that. I did actually go for a little bit of a walk. I took about a 20-minute walk just around the place. There's a lake nearby. I walked to the lake and back, and I found all of a sudden myself rejuvenated. And that's good to do, to get the blood moving and such. And speaking of walking, I was walking my dog on a narrow sidewalk in Podcastro Valley, and I see a pickup truck with a bunch of random objects. And whenever I see a pickup truck with a bunch of random objects, I know what's going to happen next. A guy with a leaf blower is going to jump out, and then my dog and I are going to have to jump into the street and nearly get killed by a car. Thank you, Podcastro Valley Mont. Paul Kantner died. Paul Kantner, for all you youngins, was an instrumental part of a band called Jefferson Airplane. We would not have songs like Don't You Want Somebody to Love and One Pill Makes You Bigger and One Makes You Small and all those wonderful songs. But I remember Paul Kantner probably most from a band he did after Jefferson Airplane, after Jefferson Starship, when Jefferson Starship became Starship and really irritated him. In fact, he said once on camera on a VH1 show, "Yeah, we built this city." What a lousy song, he said. He had no part of that song. But Paul Kantner was part of a group called the KBC Band. Yes, KBC. Almost sounds like it'd be selling chicken, that band. But KBC was Paul Kantner. The K was for his last name, Kantner. Marty Ballin, who was a big-time singer from Jefferson Airplane and Starship, sang the song, "Only you believe in miracles, baby, so would I." And then Cassidy, I forget his last name was Cassidy, but he was an instrumental part of Airplane and Starship and a band called Hot Tuna. So, they had a song that I loved called "It's Not You, It's Not Me, None of This Is Real. It's not love, it's not hate, it's something you can feel. It's not black, it's not white, it's nothing you can see. It's not you, it's not me." I used to sing that all the time, my college days. Nobody remembers the KBC Band. That was an awesome band. I will remember you most for that, Paul Kantner. Long may your spirit rock on into heavens. So this is not a good thing, you people that love fast food, and you are not supporting yourselves. You are not furthering your effort. What am I trying to say? We can't get behind your cause, you fast food eaters, when you like to leave your fast food wrappers all over the street and sidewalks. Everywhere I go, if there's trash on the ground, it's from a fast food place. So you're destroying your body, you don't give a crap about your body, and then you don't care about the general scenery. Thank you. I can't get behind your cause. Even when I'm running behind, I'd rather eat an apple than eat a Der Wiener Schnitzel. Yes, and if my 20 years back person, my person from my 20s, 20 years ago, heard that, he would laugh. Everybody's wearing hoodies in the Bay Area. Have you noticed that, Chely Shoehart?
Don't bring me into this. I don't want to be part of your ranch.
This is an important thing, the hoodies. Everybody's wearing hoodies. And I was thinking about it, and I'm like, oh, great. So that little cloth pouch that goes over your head is getting all your skull stink And then you walk around, let's say you take the hoodie off and you have it hanging behind your head. Your skull stink is in a little bag behind your head. How nice is that? And finally, Netflix is making a Stretch Armstrong cartoon or something, probably a live action thing. Stretch Armstrong, which is odd. I did not know Netflix was geared for 40-year-olds, because those are the only people that remember Stretch Armstrong. This is definitely not a 30-something thing. Stretch Armstrong was in the 70s, and it was a doll, and you could stretch the arms way out. And of course, every kid would try and see how far they could stretch it. They get their other friend to hold the other arm, and you'd do a tug-of-war thing, and next thing you knew, the arms would come ripping off, and there's this weird red jelly ooze that comes out. I bet Netflix will make fun of that as well. And finally, people have an instant visceral reaction to divorce. And I am one of these people that have remained friends with my ex-wife. If I ever mention that, people instantly go either you're an idiot or they go, oh, good for you, good for you. There's no in between. And somebody at this lunch that I was mentioning earlier mentioned, someone that I work with mentioned that they had Christmas, they spent Christmas with their ex-wife and their ex-wife's new husband. And somebody across the table from this person who is black said, oh, that's a white thing. We don't do that. I couldn't believe this person said that. But yeah, the instant reaction. I know this guy I know. I've mentioned him before on the podcast. When I mentioned that I still stay friends with my ex-wife, he frickin' blew his top. And he said, no, you don't do that. You dump her now. You drop her. You don't even talk to her. Take her phone out of your, take her number out of her. And I'm like, I don't talk to her every day. I keep in touch with her maybe once a month. Maybe we send a text every other week, but that's it. She is family. I'm sorry. She was a big part of my life. We had a lot of big memories. We spent a long time of our lives together, and it's just ridiculous to cut people off. It's immature. I'm sorry. You know, I know it'd be more mature if we would have frickin' kept the marriage going, but forces were at play that pulled that apart. So I think, anyway, it's crazy, the visceral reaction. And I like saying the word visceral. Okay. Well, there's so much other stuff going on. Iran buying 118 planes from Airbus. The GOP debate last night. And no Donald Trump. Mike, we actually had tape from that other thing Donald Trump did. Oh, you did? Yeah, he did something with a bunch of veterans. Yes. And we put a microphone on Mike Huckabee and Rick Santorum, who were there. Yeah, Mike, it's funny to hear what they said. All right, let's listen right now to what Huckabee and Santorum said. Hey, how you doing, Santorum? I'm doing great, Huckabee. Hey, we both sound like the Disgruntled Fiddle Player. Yeah, I know. Ain't that strange? Hey, it's great being here at this Trump thing, because we knew all the cameras would be here, and we're like last at the bottom of the candidate pool. So it's best that we show up here and look like we're like supporting Trump, but we're not. We're actually supporting ourselves. Yeah, why won't anyone pay attention to us? And end scene. That's amazing. That actually happened at the Trump thing. Yeah, Mike, it really happened.
Mike Matthews, what's a Trump?
It's a thing when you cut down a tree. Look, I know there's so many other things that we could have talked about, that the mosquitoes that are going to be coming up from South America at the end of spring that we need to watch out for because they can cause birth defects. Did you hear about that? I always get the name of this mosquito wrong. The Siki mosquito, I think is what it is. Sika, something like that. But I think we've pretty much covered everything, and that's what a podcast should do. That's daily. Oh, and then the kid that threw the bottle at Mean Joe Green. This was the most monumental. Speaking of the 70s, this commercial ran all the time. As kids, we would watch this and go, "Oh, Mean Joe Green," and this kid, and the kid gives Joe the soda because he needs the calories to drink all that sugar down, and then he throws the jersey at him. I think Saturday Night Live made fun of that, where instead of throwing the jersey back, he throws the bottle at the kid. But anyway, those two, Mean Joe Green is still alive, and the 9-year-old fan, who's now like 49 years old, they got back together again. I guess this is all leading up to Super Bowl. And there is a Super Bowl village. I did not realize this, near the Embarcadero, near the ferry building in San Francisco. I'll have to go check this out. Apparently One Direction's going to play there, and Alicia Keys and Chris Isaak. Free concerts. Oh, that'll be fun. San Francisco's got it going on because of the Super Bowl. And we got it going on because we got Christabel Llewellyn, the finale of our chit-chat on the Into It interview segment. We will be discussing a lot of Australia stuff and Australia bands. A lot of awesome rock bands came out of Australia. And then, of course, the wonderful band Kinderjazz that does some fantastic music and gets kids all riled up with their music and gets them in a happy state. So, let us go do that interview. Remember that you can check out this show on the internet on Facebook, facebook.com/Mike's Daily Podcast is the podcast page. You can also find me on there at Mike Talks on Facebook. I'm also there on Twitter at Mike Talks. And we are also all over the place on Spreaker, Stitcher. We're on this thing called Pocket Casts. We're on YouTube, and we're on iTunes. And if you rate and comment on this show in iTunes, more people find out about us and we don't languish in obscurity. There is also the Amazon link. If you click on that at mikesdailypodcast.com and buy something, that helps us out. And there's also the PayPal link if you want to donate to the show and become an Inglorious Mike's Daily Podcaster. Get a special greeting from all the Cafe Anyway characters, like Chely Shoehart.
Yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm going to say hello and everything. Because I feel that that's my duty, as well as being a gift shop supervisor.
Do you sell anything at the gift shop?
All the time, Mike Matthews.
Do I get a cut of that?
No.
Dang it. So if you're going to buy anything, go through the Amazon link, and that will help me out.
Or buy stuff from me at the gift shop.
I think we've gone off the rails with all the plugging we're doing here, so I think we'll just wrap this up. Oh, the podcast picture, too, is at mikesdailypodcast.com. We'll find out what that is in a little bit after our Into an Interview and a great song from Kinderjazz and Christabel Llewellyn.
Into an Interview.
When you saw AC/DC back in the day, was that Bon Scott? That was the lead singer? The original guy, huh?
Yes, yeah.
Wow. Did you ever see In
We
Excess?
lived in the same suburb.
Really?
Yeah, so Ashfield Boys High, yeah.
Oh my gosh, you got to see him before all the success. Did you ever see In Excess or Ice House?
Yes, all of them.
Ice House too, and who else? There was Little River Band was from Australia.
Yes, Little River Band. They used to play at all the pubs.
Farnham, John Farnham.
Johnny Farnham, yes.
He was great. I had in the 90s. I graduated college in 1990, and I had a friend who had spent time in Australia, and she gave me all this music from Australia, like Hunters. Is it Hunters and Collectors?
Oh yes, yeah.
And I had seen Crowded House when they came to I was going to school in Santa Barbara, and they performed, but they're New Zealand. But But I got all into. I'm like, let me tell me more about Australian bands. So then and In Excess was really huge then, and Ice House had a couple songs that got popular here. So I was like, why are all these Australian bands getting popular? And then I used that as a thesis for a paper I had to write in college about the economic,
wonderful.
Political influences of Australia on America.
I'd love to read it.
I'll have to find it. It's buried in a box somewhere, but...
You know, in the 70s, Australia's biggest export was rock music.
Yeah, because you had Little River Band, AC/DC,
yeah, it was huge.
Bee Gees.
And I'm privileged to have been part of it.
And there were a lot of solo acts that got popular from Australia too.
That's right. But then of course in the 90s the government decided that they were going to put a tax on anyone who booked bands, a licensing law. And it was, you had to pay $50,000 a year if you wanted to have live entertainment, and it all disappeared. But it's actually, they repealed the law because all these musicians, including us, signed petitions and lobbied the government, and it's turned around, thank God. And it's all coming back, and it's just brought the city to life.
You can't make it any harder for a musician. It's already so difficult, like you were saying, to be a musician with all the, how do you find gigs and how you find, and then you got to maintain your instruments, and that's expensive, and then learning your craft.
Yeah, it's not for the faint-hearted. We do it because we absolutely have to.
Yeah.
We're all really passionate and driven about it.
Do you know what show I'm addicted to that I've been watching here in America? Because we can watch it on Netflix. Is the Miss Fisher murders, or no?
Oh, murder mysteries, yeah.
Yeah, Miss Fisher's.
It's so good.
and I can't do an Australian accent, but I love watching them, and I sometimes try and they make it look so easy. How are they doing that accent? And then I try and do it, and it sounds like I'm doing some guy from Alabama. It sounds more like Southern, like I'm doing this. But the Australian accent is so fun.
It is.
And
Australians are so much fun. They're very laid back. A lot like California, but I think we're freer because, our government's not as restricted.
Yeah, and you've got beautiful surfing there and a beautiful country. Is Miss Fisher's Murder Mysteries popular there?
Very, very popular, yeah.
Really?
We've got Netflix as well.
Oh, you do? That's right.
Yeah.
I should have bought stock in Netflix 5 years ago.
Yes.
They're all over the world now. What's a show from America that's really popular there?
Oh, House of Cards.
Oh, really? That's a Netflix show.
I couldn't watch it after the first couple of episodes. It was just too nasty.
And that's actually a ripoff of a British show, isn't it?
Yes, that's right, yeah. We get all the American shows.
Yeah.
Every single one.
Wow.
All the Bold and the Beautiful and all of those kind of things. During the day and
the soap operas.
Yeah, we've got we got all the soap operas. They've got a huge following of American shows. Two and a Half Men.
I completely forgot soap operas. Natalie Imbruglia was popular here. She was from the soap.
That's right. Yeah,
and Kylie Minogue.
Yes, we actually played with Kylie.
No.
3 years ago. Yeah, we got a picture with her. Yeah, we actually wrote a Kinderjazz song for Kylie. We played to that on New Year's Eve 3 years ago.
How fun! Did she seem nice?
Yes, very nice.
She seems tiny.
She is. She's about 5 foot tall, but she wears these very high shoes.
Little petite Kylie Minogue. Well, Christabel, what's one more song I can play off that you would like me to play here on Mike's Daily Podcast?
I think Razzmatazz, because it's very vaudeville or Broadway. It's got jokes in it, and when Jess sings really high, there's a glass smash at the end. Kids love it. They just wait for the joke, and they play it again and again and again.
I think kids love it when things break. when things go smash.
Also, one day we were playing at the Hakoah Club, which is a Jewish club at Bondi Beach, the famous Bondi Beach, and Jess's feather from her boa, just one feather flew into the air just as our trombone player started his solo. And he, for 2.5 minutes, he kept that feather in the air with his solo.
Oh my gosh.
And that was just, he had, every child's mouth was open. He had a waiting for him to drop that. And he did it, and he got the biggest applause. And we've remembered that as a band. It was entertaining. All the other musicians that were watching, we entertain each other with all of that stuff, because that's what can happen live.
That's an amazing... Yeah, and like you were saying, the improvisation, the unpredictability, the way that you're able to improvise.
The spontaneity is just a huge part. And the interaction, we will get requests. We were playing at the zoo once, right on the harbour, and they were requesting Queen and all sorts of things.
More rock.
And the musicians can play anything, really, anything. So it's a real crowd pleaser because the parents get involved because it's real music. They can actually listen to it. It's not children's music.
Yeah.
It's aimed at kids, but it's very easy to listen to.
Yeah, because Barney the dinosaur, his songs, wow.
Well, it's lovely, so it's up to 5 years old, but then you're 6 or 7, and you don't want to be fed. The media feeds them straight into adult pop, like Eminem, and they don't need to listen to songs of suicide.
Right.
Or, it's very misogynistic, that whole pop culture, and they're still children, and there's nothing for them. It changes the structure of your brain because you're seeing so many words and lyrics. And the memory of all that music, whether it's trombones, saxophones, trumpets, piano, double bass, drum kit, congas, vocals, there's so much to engage a growing brain. And I find even adults who've, they're losing their memory and stuff, when they're older, they start listening to their grandchildren's Kinderjazz CDs, and it actually brings them to life.
Ah. You've played some interesting places, I bet.
Yes.
All over Australia.
I think the Opera House was like it. When we sold out 30 shows at the Sydney Opera House, that was unbelievable. There were strollers everywhere. It was chaos.
Wow.
People were, dropping kids off in taxis, and it really was madness. And it was so well received. It was just unbelievable. We'll never forget it. And I think, if we can do that, we can come to the States. Definitely.
The Sydney Opera... I called it the Sydney Opera House. Opera House. An Opry House is different. That's in Nashville. But, yeah, maybe... I'm sure you could sell that one out, too. Wow.
Or the Hollywood Bowl.
Yeah.
That would be perfect.
That's a beautiful outdoor venue. Yeah, so
we love playing outdoors because it's a big band. You need a big venue.
Oh, that would
where
be
there's a
fun.
mosh pit and kids can, really get involved. We played at the Botanical Gardens on New Year's Eve to 2,000 kids and their special needs kids and their families, and then it was broadcast to 1 billion people around the world.
Oh.
And that was amazing.
My mom played me a lot of classical music growing up, and then she did take me to the Hollywood Bowl to hear some, I forget what symphony it was, but they played Beethoven. And we went